and try to stay grounded through all of this. All this tech stuff. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back to this now. I'm going to make sure. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and I think that it is going to. I'm trying to find my way back. This is strange. And try to stay grounded through all of this. Okay. All this tech stuff. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back to this now to make sure. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and I think that it is going to. Okay. Do you hear YouTube in the background? Is that weird?
I'm
trying to find my way back. Okay, now I have to stop this again. All right. Oh my gosh.
I wish I could help, but I've never done it myself.
Okay. All right. You know what? We'll just go. We'll just go with it. Okay. I think that it's
recording. Is it recording?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, and it's live streaming too on YouTube, but I'm sure no one's watching my YouTube channel right now. So, yeah. So, thank you for joining. Yeah. I see a lot of people out in the world, in person, in the grocery store, walking down the street, becoming triggered on Facebook as well, all of that. And what I see is a lot of people not connected to their bodies and not grounded, and feeling really a lot of fear with the state of the world and what's going on, whatever your viewpoints are. I experienced a very interesting time in the summer where I saw myself being pulled in to all of the drama around me happening in the world, and I let myself get drawn into that, and it really had a big effect on me. And I saw what was happening because I did have all these tools to get back in my body and to be grounded. I saw what was happening, and I realized that that I needed to bring all of my resources in that I had, so that I could like come back down and like find my own core and my own center.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little bit of the background of that, why I'm doing this now. And also it's the fall, and it's the earth. She's really going in now, and things are, the leaves are falling, the roots are going back into the ground, and it's like really a good time to like go back in.
Yes.
And kind of be that reflection of the earth. So I was going to do this workshop a year ago, this weekend workshop, all about coming back home to our bodies. And when my mom died, I kind of got that got pushed to the side. So this has been something that I've been wanting to bring forth for a really long time. So there's going to be more of that hopefully in the future too. So I guess what we can do now is I have this kind of a grounding and breathing practice that we can do together. Yes. And then whoever's watching this later can do that as well. So what I'll have you do is just so when you're breathing in, just allow your body to be breathed without really thinking about it. Like, what I mean is, like, allow the breath in and the breath out and really feel the expansion and contraction happening with your whole body, as opposed to just focusing on the lungs or even the belly right now. Just allow the breath to come in naturally without being forced or without thinking of how long to hold it and all of that. And also just if you have a normal breath practice that is good for you, definitely use that. Like, whatever you're comfortable with and whatever relaxes you. I don't have any specific techniques except that there's a certain practice that I've been doing the past, I would say past year. And that is when you're breathing, bring your awareness down to your pelvic bowl. Right? Kind of imagine that there's a bowl there. Because there is a bowl there, that your pelvis, it's holding up your belly and the rest of your internal organs. And when you're breathing in, just allow that bowl, allow like a release to happen. So when you're breathing in, like, feel that whole area releasing down. And then when you breathe out as well, you feel a release even when you breathe out. So there's this like letting go, this relaxing of the pelvic bowl. So this relaxing and grounding down right at the base, right at your root chakra. So a lot of people, we tend to think of the heart as the center, and it definitely is. It's like kind of the midpoint between earth and heaven. But when you're thinking about the body and you're thinking about the breath, like really the center and the core, I like to see as right below the belly button. Some people call this the dantian, and it's also, the womb space in women. And so I really like to see that as the core of the body. It is the center of gravity. And it really helps with that rooted feeling as well. So you're still breathing and like trying to release into the pelvic bowl. in the in-breath. And release again in the out-breath. And then next time you breathe out, imagine the energy going down deeper into your thighs. And then imagine the energy again when you breathe out going even deeper down through your knees. Down into your legs. Your ankles. All the way to your feet. So that now you feel yourself connected to the earth, and that energy is going all the way down through the pelvic bowl, all the way down to your legs, connecting to the earth. And then you can feel, now reverse that and feel energy from the earth coming up with each breath through the feet, through the ankles, and the legs, and the thighs, to your belly. At this point, you can breathe in a little bit higher, all the way up to your heart. And if you want to, you can place your hands there, or even one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just take your time to come back and open your eyes. um, yeah, I really love that practice. And the way that I learned it, I kind of changed a little bit about how I learned it just to kind of fit more of my style. And that's what I love about learning things, is you can take them in as your own. I think that's like super important, because then it's just becomes dogma. Like, this is how you breathe. This is how you get connected to your own body. I definitely feel like everyone, is sovereign, and they can choose how they can get to know their own body and their own self. That's one of the ways that I do it. So another thing that I wanted to share was part of this breathing technique and this grounding technique. I like to imagine myself as a tree, whatever tree you want to be. I imagine myself as an oak tree, and it's great because there's an oak tree right outside of my house, a big oak tree. And just imagining my legs going down and like being roots and becoming rooted into the earth. That really, really helps. And then it would be great if there was like a big circle of us, because what I wanted to share was, but other people that watch this, they can imagine like all the people. So imagine like a little grove or a forest of all of these trees together. We can see ourselves as all these different trees together that are each unique in their own way, and they have different properties, and they need different things maybe. But a lot of times what happens in the forest is that all the trees are connected to each other through their roots and through the mycelium, like the mushrooms, and they connect. So I like to imagine myself as being an individual tree, and then I'm connected to everyone else on the planet through my root system. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And or at least all of the people that maybe the first thing is just to be connected with all the people that you are in alignment with first, and like really feel that strength in numbers, even though you're like a solo tree, that like energetically you can be connected with all these other people by being grounded in your own wisdom. Yeah. So I have a little story that that really connects well with something else that I'll share that maybe you don't have to do right now, but you can do later for sure. It might be a bit difficult to do right now, actually. And that involves lying directly on the earth, which I did today. And if you have an area where you can lie on some grass, that's the best thing. And not everybody has access to that right now. So if you don't have access to that, you can always just imagine yourself lying on the earth, wherever you're at. So this is my story. So last spring, last April, my mom was in the hospital getting some surgery done, and I was there all day at the hospital while she was in surgery. And I noticed that there was a little bit of area outside the cafeteria that I could lounge in and just sit in the grass. And I decided to go out there and lay down for a few minutes and do some kind of like yoga nidra type, just, being in corpse pose, just like so that I could like connect to the earth and like really ground me, because I was experiencing a lot of emotions. And I felt really overwhelmed, and I needed to, relax my nervous system. And I felt like the best way to do that in the moment. So I went out there and laid down for a few minutes and wasn't really paying attention to anybody else around me. There were people having lunch, it was just this little, like, it wasn't that big of an area, but it was enough to lay down in the grass. And the security guard at the hospital came up to me and said that I couldn't do that. I couldn't just lay down on the grass, because I think maybe someone saw me in one of the rooms above. It was like, a 7 story hospital, and it looked like, I was either asleep or I was, unconscious. It was just totally foreign to like people at the hospital that someone could like just be relaxing on the grass. And I remember like I was in the middle of my body mind coaching training, and I remember sharing it with them, and like I remember posting something on Facebook about like, this is so odd that like you can't even like, relax outside of a hospital in the grass. But what I was doing, was really helping me cope with all of the stuff and all the stimulation of being in a hospital and all the noise and the people and all of their energy, and also other people dealing with loved ones that were in the hospital.
Yeah.
So that also told me a lot about our society, about like where our priorities are, like if all of these people that were waiting in the waiting rooms were able to lay down in the grass for a few minutes, and if that was something that was allowed. But yeah, it definitely showed me what the priorities were. Um, so yeah. And I think around this time too, I don't know if it was before or after, I was in a workshop with someone, and she had us lay down on the forest floor, and she placed different crystals in different parts of our body, and we were laying down there for quite some time. And I think she called it earth activation, which I thought was really cool. And so that's yeah, that was a really interesting experience. And but it's almost like I wanted to be like, no, like this is really necessary, like we need to get more people out here doing this, but I was just like, it was the security guard, and I had to leave. But that's something that I don't do every day actually, but if I even did it every day, I think it would change every day. It like if I did that in the morning, even like putting your feet, like if you can't lay down completely on the earth, like just putting your bare feet on the earth is really powerful. Even in the wintertime, like even in the snow, it's amazing. No.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So something else that I wanted to talk about too was, so I talked a little bit about like the energy going down, like feeling the energy going down and then coming back up. So a couple of weeks ago, I was just starting my day of doing some grounding practices, and I could literally feel the energy leaving my body. And the way that I described it was taking like an energetic dump, out of my body. It was like I could feel it leaving me, like the energy that wasn't really mine to hold on to. And so I feel like this is something that I takes practice, or not, maybe not practice, but I think you always have to have like your root chakra pretty clear for that to happen. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people really hold on. The root chakra is where, issues around like financial stability and security and feeling safe. If you don't feel safe, then there's like a holding there. But if you're able to like release and clear that, then all this energy that your body is holding has somewhere to go. It doesn't have to just go out through that channel, but like that's what I was experiencing. That's what I was feeling. So you can bring energy up from the earth, right? You can rely on the grounding energy of the earth to
Live.
to live. I mean, yeah, you literally need the earth to live. But the earth is very it's, the mother, like she can take things that you don't need anymore and like compost, just send them back to the earth, energetically, and physically, of course. I'm speaking more to energetically right now. She definitely takes a lot from us as humans. For sure. It's like having a child, and the mother takes a lot from from the children.
Yes.
So as we walk through our days, we take on a lot of energy from other people that doesn't belong to us. Another coach that I was working with a few months ago was talking about this. She was asking, like, well, what percent of the energy that you have right now is yours? She was asking, like, what percent is yours? What percent is other people's? And can you really discern what is what? So yeah, that I really thought about that a lot. Like, wow, like how much that I'm holding is actually mine, or am I just bringing in all this other stuff from other people? So, the energy, if you have other people's stuff, where does it go? It stays trapped in the body, and it can become like a cancer, and it can lead to actual cancer. And it can also, like, if you have like energy in your body and doesn't have anywhere to go, then the body creates more space for that energy to be held in. So some people, I'm not going to go too far into that, actually, because there's a lot of things I could say there. But yeah, if the energy has nowhere to go, then it needs a way out. And if you can find practices where that energy can go back to the earth, or out, or dispersed, some way out of your body. I found in the past year that I have these, like, my body just shakes sometimes, like, because I have things that I need to get rid of, and it's like an automatic thing almost now. And I found with other energy healers doing that too, like, getting rid of something that doesn't belong. And so there's energy that's other people's, and there's also energy that's your own, that you create. And so there's a difference between letting go of things that aren't yours, but then integrating things that are yours and transforming it into something positive. It's like that kind of compost, like you can compost something that you don't need, and then it becomes something that you can use for growth.
Yeah.
So
and not attract other beings too.
yes. So I've really been working with that a lot too. Yeah. Let me see if there's something else that I wanted to say. There's a lot I could say, but it might get too long. Yeah. Well, first, maybe I could ask you if you have any questions so far, or anything you want to talk about, or anything that it brought up to
Um,
you, or.
yeah, well, the ground, it was wonderful grounding.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing how we can really bring our spirit forward and connect. And it's just the two of us right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to do this with thousands of people,
Mm-hmm.
we will be done with all of this nonsense. So being with you right now, it's possible. If it's two of us, then
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't there be more?
Yeah. I kind of see it as like, um, if you're only even just like impacting your own life, like me just doing this right now is helping me, and that's important than not helping anyone, because I'm helping myself
Yeah.
by, you know, talking about these the importance of grounding, talking about these practices. It's reminding me of my, what I value and where I'm in alignment. And
And fulfilling your agreement.
mhm, yeah, definitely. Um, so, relating, being grounded, you can really get connected to your own wisdom through that, because you're not being taken away in the mental realm of other people,
Mhm.
and what they think and what their beliefs are.
Yes.
And then if you are grounded in your own wisdom, then the decisions that you make every day come from you,
Yes.
and from what feel is right for you in your life.
Yeah.
And what that means really is like, the power really lies within you to make change in your own life and in your own world.
So
And if you, again, like going back to the tree metaphor, um, if you're able to become rooted in what you believe in, it's very powerful, because like an old tree, like the tree in the photo, a really old tree, um, kind of like saying an old soul, like, I guess I see myself as an old soul, like a really old tree that has like a really established root system. um you know if there's like some wind happening, like, its branches and leaves might fall, and it'll like go back and forth, and even like in a hurricane or something, like it might lose some limbs, but it won't um fall down, or it won't become uprooted. um it'll stay, it'll stand its ground in that storm. And that's almost like, if you're really rooted and grounded in your own truth, then the storms around you that happen every day, the chaos that you're experiencing, at the collective level, like this tornado almost, like that we see happening, um, it won't um, it won't harm you,
mhm.
because you're rooted, you're that tree. And if you are in a forest with other trees and all of your roots are connected together,
Yes.
then you're even stronger.
Yes.
You're even stronger because you've got a support network with
Yes.
you. So the
And you can
storm,
provide shade and
yeah.
you can feed others
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and even be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And the seasons come and go, and the leaves fall, and then you get to rest when you need to rest. And then in the springtime, come back, you're ready to bloom and blossom again. And that can happen in the winter. I'm kind of speaking in metaphor now, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I could go and I could talk about like the need for there to be recognition of like the different parts of our um, growth. You know, you need the roots are established first. You know, the roots are established first before it can sprout.
Yes.
You know, um, and if you and you also need like stable ground as well. Um, and then the sprouts come, and then you have the leaves, and then like the bud, and the whole time the roots are there. That the root is grounding that, so that the rest of it can flourish. You know, and then you have um, the flower and the fruit and the seed. But you can't produce seeds if you're not rooted. You know, you can't produce seeds for the future, for future generations, for whatever, if you don't have the root first. Because that's how life grows.
Yeah.
That's how everything on this planet survives. And we are humans, but we also need that. We need that to give birth too. we need to really be connected to our own roots and our the wisdom of our body.
Yes.
Do that.
Yeah. Well, this is wonderful. My intention right now is to give birth to myself, to my true self. So
Wow,
wonderful.
that's great. I actually I told someone recently that I almost became a doula. I signed up for doula training. I was talking to a midwife friend of mine, and I was really thinking I was going to go down that path. And then just a few weeks before, I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is right for me. And then I signed up for this coaching, this embodiment coaching, and I just told this woman just a few weeks ago, like, you know what? I'm helping women give birth to themselves. That's what I'm doing. It's still this process, like doing
Yes.
or midwifing, um, because it's coming from the same place of wanting to guide women through this transformational process where there's this gestation period, and there's this like the transition period of that's really scary. It can be really scary. It's kind of like the metamorphosis that happens with a butterfly, in the chrysalis stage, and then it's this morphing into something different.
Yeah. Wow. Aren't we doing that all as humanity right now? We definitely are.
Yeah, humanity is shifting for sure. It's a big transformation. One
What
of
a gift to know that. What
mm-hmm,
a gift to be awake to when it's happening.
mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah.
it could have happened for me that I wouldn't have woken up, but I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I find that, like, I think that everything that I've done the last few years, really, but maybe even before that, my whole life, like, has really led up to this place of um, putting a lot of importance on autonomy and
Mm-hmm.
sovereignty, um, and I remember, oh my gosh, you might have been there. I don't know if you were. It was a white ceremony. Um, was it solstice maybe? I don't know, but
A
some sort of
ceremony?
thing. Yeah, yeah. I was wearing all white with other women, and we all wrote something down that we wanted to say goodbye to,
Oh,
and
nice.
then we wrote something down that we wanted to embrace. This was a while ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Um, but I basically was interested in going from servitude to sovereignty,
Mm.
and really reclaiming my sovereignty and my inner queendom, I guess, within
Yes,
me. And that
yes.
was before this year, way before this year. So going through this process of really reclaiming my own sovereignty, um, when outside forces tell me that I have to do something and that this is the way it has to be, I'm like, you know what? That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right in my body. That doesn't
Yeah.
feel right to me. And so if I hadn't done all of that work on reclaiming my own self, then I might be pretty lost right now. And
Mm.
I don't feel lost. I feel like the least lost that I've ever felt. I felt a little lost in April, I would say, like May, March, April. Um, and again, it took a lot of like, processing, integrating, like, and remembering really who I am, bringing me back like, oh, well, this is who I am. This is what my beliefs are about the world and about like how important it is to be, connected to our Mother Earth, and how the breath is so important, and um, really looking at how the system at large has been manipulating us for so long, and yeah, it's really interesting. I this webinar really, I was opening up um, to everyone to, and I was kind of going to come from like this place of grounding, to help you get through whatever you're going through. But since you're here and I'm going to put this on my YouTube, I'm just like, I gotta say what's real for me,
Yeah.
and speak
Yeah.
the truth. And really, that's my truth. Um, I feel like we've gotten so disconnected from nature that we're even afraid of nature. We're afraid of ourselves. We're afraid of each other. We're afraid to hug and to be next to each other, and and there's something really off about that. I
Yeah.
just feel
It's plain
intuitively.
malicious.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
is not our true nature.
yeah.
People are deceived.
hmm Yeah.
But their spirits are hurting. Their spirits are saying the truth. They're saying the truth.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. It was back in May, I think it was, that I really made this connection between being open in the lower chakras, and especially the in the sacral chakra and the second chakra. Um, how in childbirth, going back to the birth metaphor, like it's really important to relax the jaw
Mhm.
so that your hips can open.
Oh.
And it was really hard for me, to be honest. This was like almost 6 years ago now that I was giving birth, because I was so blocked. And I was so blocked, that I wasn't able to really open, and it took me a long time to get there.
And then Rosa Maria came out.
So the other part of that is like, if we're blocked in our creativity, in our lower chakras, it also affects like the throat and being able to speak our truth. You know, you can't just, if you're not open in the lower chakras, then you're not able to like speak the truth from a rooted place.
Yes.
So yeah, that's something else that I really really been working with too, and the work that I do in helping women open those chakras, I find really helps open the voice as well. And I'm kind of a testament to that, because I have been working with healing the lower chakras in myself. And what's happened is that I've started singing again, you know, and I've actually been creating songs, and that, you know, wasn't happening before. So it's like, you know, looking at the tree metaphor again, it's like,
yes,
you're rooted, then, you know, you can like be free, and like you can just be free up here because you're just like rooted down there. It's, you know, in yoga, it's like, you know, make sure your legs are really rooted and strong, and then your arms are kind of like, can be free like that.
yeah.
My yoga practice is you know, I used to like go to classes a lot, and then I stopped going to classes, and like, it's hard to keep it up on your own.
Yeah.
But I am doing another thing that's really helped me in terms of grounding is started going back to ecstatic dance again. And there's a group of us meeting on a hilltop. There's lots of space for people to have space if they want space, to move freely and dance in the sun.
Oh, wonderful.
But
That's wonderful. That's something I miss about Nashville, ecstatic dance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just really blessed to be in the community that I'm into, and finding really, really amazing people. Yeah. Yeah. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I'm gonna sleep really nicely tonight.
Yeah. And just one more thing to say is like my when I was working as a massage therapist, which, you know, I still do that, I found that to be really good at what I was doing, I had to stay grounded, and I had to be flexible at the same time in my body. And when I started as a massage therapist, I was not grounded. And when I started to do yoga, I noticed, like, when I was working on someone on the table, my feet weren't fully on the floor. Like, they're almost like lifted up, like partially on, like, not tippy toes, but it was like, wow, I'm not like grounded here. I'm just like focusing all my attention on this person and their body. And I'm like, well, what about my body? You know, like I got to take care of me first.
Yeah.
So that you know, you don't see trees like giving all their stuff to another tree. I don't know. you know, so it, you know, I see a lot of people do that too, like, you know, all constantly people pleasing, like doing things for other people, and then they get depleted. You know, they forget about their own needs, and that definitely uproots you, and that is very ungrounding if you're always looking for helping other people, which is great. And, it comes from a great place. That's one of the things about like living only from your heart is that, you can give and give and give from your heart, and you don't realize that the primary person to give to is yourself first. So, and it's really important as a mom to remind myself of that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
This was wonderful.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? If one person shows up, then it's going to be perfect, and it'll be the perfect person to show up to. And yeah. But yeah, definitely have a good night. And what time is it there?
Gracias. Oh, it's almost 7:00.
Oh, okay. So you're an hour behind, and not behind.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. It's really funny. The last Zoom call that I did with somebody, they were in Egypt, and now you're in
Colombia.
Yeah, it was a one-on-one Zoom call. Like it wasn't meant to be live, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm connecting with all these people all over the world.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sarah. This was really wonderful. Really, really wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, let's stay connected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to share, you don't have to, but you can share. Since I did put it on YouTube. It probably won't.
Oh, yes. If you want to share with people, yes.
Yeah, just find me on YouTube, and you can. I'm gonna start doing more YouTube, just solo YouTube too. So you can subscribe and keep watching, and I'll be doing some more videos and that aren't this format necessarily. But yeah. Thank you.
Gracias, Sara. Gracias. Adiós.
Adios. Okay.